before we begin, it's imperative for us to understand what CSS actually does. So I'm going to attempt to explain this now. So we have this term called CSS. First of all, the C stands for cascading, as we know. The S stands for style. Now basically the style defines the style of the text and is associated with paragraphs, type, and it basically formats the type or specific style. It's kind of really associated with the style of the actual cascading style sheet. So that includes elements like fonts, type, paragraphs, and anything to do with the style of the actual style sheet itself. We then have this other word called sheets. Now what this basically means is the code for the style, and it's basically lines of code for this particularly style, and enables you to control the style sheet externally. There's two types of sheets. There's an internal style sheet and there's an external style sheet. Basically you can manage many different style sheets inside Dreamweaver. Two types of style sheets, internal and external. The internal is basically internal style sheet inside the website. The external can be a style sheet that once you make one change in that external style sheet, it will control the whole of the website. So they're quite frequently used in large scale projects or in medium scale projects, an external style sheet. Now one thing that happens quite often, or may happen quite often, is a conflict with an internal and external style sheet. So say for example in an internal style sheet we specify the font to Arial, and the external style sheet we specify the font to Times New Roman. What will happen is that the internal style sheet will win over. It always manages conflict, so it always is the integral part of the style sheet. So if there are any conflicts that arise, the internal style sheet will always resolve that and has priority over the external style sheet, so it will kind of override the external style sheet. So that's basically cascading style sheets. In the next video we'll go off and we'll have a look at them in more detail, and I'll show you how to use them appropriately.